This training video is going to deal with harmful events. There are several places on the crash report to document those, and there may be more than one harmful event to document.
In the revised DR3447 crash form, there are 4 boxes for recording harmful events. First, let's start with the definition.
Now, harmful event is simply any occurrence of damage, property damage, or injury. So, two things that collide or touch are not necessarily damaged. It's only damaged when the value prior to that is lowered as a result of the contact.
You know, another example could be a vehicle rear ends another vehicle, forcing it to go into oncoming traffic and then goes head on with another vehicle. That would be 2 harmful event sequences there.
Harmful events are typically recorded in the order of occurrence. However, it's important to clarify the order of the crash does not necessarily dictate the most harmful event, which can sometimes lead to confusion when filling out the crash form.
So we have the opportunity to make a decision as an officer. What were those harmful events as they occurred as this crash played itself out? So the first, second, third, and you may not have that many. You may only have 2 harmful events, and for those occasions, we're not asking you to make up a harmful event or even carry them through. Simply put what was the first and second, and then the most harmful.
Alyssa Heron, a data analyst with CDOT, shares one of the reasons CDOT evaluates harmful events on the crash form is to identify trends for potential engineering solutions.
Let's say we have a mountain pass where a lot of people are going off the side of the road. Let's say CDOT doesn't allow us to reduce the highway speed there because it is a state highway and it has to meet certain minimums. What we can do is put up a guardrail. That guardrail won't necessarily reduce the number of crashes that occur in that area, but it will reduce the severity.
What needs to be done to correct that, whether that's something from an engineering standpoint or an enforcement standpoint, how do we lower the incidence of that harmful event occurring?
Captain Grimsley with the Colorado State Patrol says it can be tricky when harmful events occur in multiple jurisdictions. He encourages officers to pay attention to understand this particular nuance.
Let's say there's a DUI driver who blows a stop sign and collides with another vehicle in an intersection, right? The DUI driver blew the stop sign, which is technically the first human contributing factor, but the crash itself and where it's located and which jurisdiction it falls to depends on where the first injury or damage occurs. So in that intersection, if up to the stop sign is state patrols, but the intersection itself and the other road belong to another jurisdiction, that's that jurisdiction's to cover, even though the human contributing factor, him blowing through the stop sign, was on state patrols.
Millions of dollars are spent every year to improve infrastructure to enhance safety in Colorado. The decisions on where to allocate those dollars are dependent on accurate data.
It is really important that officers take their time and pay attention to details when they're covering a crash. What we don't always realize as officers is downstream how many people are affected by all the crash reports that we as law enforcement produce.
For more information, visit the Investigating Officers Crash Reporting Manual.